Hello children, welcome back. Let us begin our day with the thought for the day. Today's thought is the time is always right to do what is right. In Marathi, the word says Shubha Karyala Vilamba Kashala. So time will be always perfect to do anything that is good or for betterment. In the previous session, we have started chapter number 21, The Journey to the Great Oz, and it was the introduction part. I hope you all must have heard it. So, let us begin with the chapter. Please be ready with your textbooks, keep them open, and have a pencil. Hold a pencil in your hand. So, chapter 21, The Journey to the Great Oz. Let us quickly revise about the main characters. Dorothy along with Toto, and you can see Dorothy holding those silver shoes. I've told you about these magical silver shoes. Another character from the story, the Scarecrow, who requires brain. That is why he also wants to go to the Emerald City and see the Wizard of Oz. The Tin Woodman, all made up of tin, he requires a heart so that he can be more sensible and kind. And the Cowardly Lion, who requires some bravery and courage from the Wizard of Oz. So I hope you all remember this very well. So let us begin with the actual story now. The Wizard of Oz is a well-known fantasy of children's literature. Fantasy is an imagination which deals with magic. It tells the story of Dorothy, who is whisked with her dog Toto by the cyclone to the wonderful land of Oz. So the cyclone took Dorothy and her dog Toto to a far away land. It was the wonderland of Oz. There she meets the Tin Woodman, who needs a heart, the Scarecrow, who needs brains, and the Cowardly Lion, who requires bravery. They all want to see the Wizard of Oz, the only person who can help them. Here is an account of a part of their journey to the Emerald City of Oz, where the wizard lives. Read the Wizard of Oz to find out what happens next. Now, the part of the story which we are going to read as a chapter, it's a very interesting part, and you all will become very curious to know what happens with these characters. Are their desires fulfilled or they remain in the wonderland of Oz? So please try to secure the book and try to find out. Otherwise, you can see the movie also. The Wizard of Oz was written by Layman Frank Baum. He has written many other books about Oz. This classic novel was also made into a movie. So you can even watch the movie and find out what happens in the story. So now the actual journey begins. This was to be an eventful day for the travelers. Eventful when we have some memorable events or the day is related with some special memories and we don't forget that day. They had hardly been walking for an hour when they saw before them a great ditch. Ditch is a long, shallow depression that crossed the road and divided the forest as far as they could see on either side. So they were already walking in the forest and now they could see the forest on either side, and the ditch had divided the road in the parts. It was a very wide ditch, very wide, so they were just thinking how to cross the ditch. And when they crept up to the edge and looked into it, they could see it was also very deep, and there were many big jagged rocks at the bottom. So the first obstacle came in the journey. Obstacle was a wide, very wide ditch, and it was impossible to climb down in the ditch and then again climb up, because it was very steep and there were chances that if you try to climb down you may fall down, and at the bottom there were many jagged rocks. Jagged means unevenly cut, rough and pointed. So 100% chances of injury if you try to climb down and climb up on the other side. It was steep, it was very wide, and for a moment it seemed that their journey must end. So many difficulties. So for some time they thought that now this is end of everything. We will not be able to cross this great ditch. What shall we do? Asked Dorothy despairingly. Despairingly is just when we give up the hope that something could happen. She had almost given up all the hope of crossing the ditch. I haven't the faintest idea, said the Tin Woodman, and the lion shook his shaggy mane and looked thoughtful. Description of lion. Shaggy word, if you recollect, we have read this word in 4th standard. Try to recollect it, and in the interactive session I will surely ask you when you have read this word and in which chapter you have read this word. But a scarecrow said, we cannot fly, that is certain. Neither can we climb down into the great ditch. Therefore, if we cannot jump over it, we must stop where we are. So very intelligent and logical, practical suggestions from the scarecrow. Though he was not having any brain, he was lacking brain, but he could think logically. So his suggestion was that only way of crossing it is jumping it, because we cannot fly, that is sure. If we can jump over it, then only there are chances of crossing the ditch. I think I could jump over it, said the cowardly lion, after measuring the distance carefully in his mind. Now the animals know how far they can leap, how far they can jump. They do not require any measuring tape and scales to measure how far they can jump. Then we are all right, answered the scarecrow, for you can carry us all over on your back, one at a time. Well, I will try it, said the lion. Who will go first? So the matter was sorted. Scarecrow said that we need to jump, and though the lion was coward, he required bravery, but still he was courageous enough to jump from one side to the other, and the distance he knew that he can jump over it. So it was all decided that now lion will jump from one side to the other, and he will carry on his back, of course, one at a time. And now they are deciding who will go first. Well, I will try it, said the lion. Who will go first? Now time to decide who is going to go first. So we will continue with the story in our next period. For today, we are stopping for the day. Just read whatever we have read so far. Read about all the 4 characters, recollect why they wanted to go and meet the Wizard of Oz. Try to find out the book and try to find out what happens next in the story. So we will meet again in the next period. Till then, stay safe, stay indoors. Thank you. Take care.